Okay, we have another article in the news here. Uh, this is from February 28th, 2015. And this happened, this is the Hamilton Spectator and Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And this incident occurred in Toronto, Canada. Two dead, one wounded in Toronto shooting. Okay. Let's check it out. Police say two men are dead and a third injured after an altercation in an East End Toronto McDonald's escalated and multiple shots were fired early Saturday. Detective Sergeant Terry Brown says an armed security guard, who was apparently in the restaurant to buy food, discharged his weapon following a significant physical altercation with two men. Okay. Brown says the altercation took place somewhere near the food counter and there were between 15 and 20 customers and staff in the McDonald's at the time of the incident. Police say the two identified men, believed to be aged 25 and 40, were pronounced dead at the scene, while the security guard was taken to the hospital for treatment of a hand injury. Brown says the guard, who is employed nearby, is cooperating with the investigators. Brown says police are not looking for any suspects and says the reason for the confrontation isn't yet known, but investigators are going through security video of the incident. I can tell you why it started. I can't tell you why it started. From what I see on the video, it started very quickly and escalated from there, he told a news conference Saturday morning. There's no doubt the security guard is the involved party for discharging of the firearm. Well, no, I wouldn't exactly agree with that. If he was attacked by two men, he obviously feared for his life and discharged his firearm in self-defense. And this is an ongoing problem I see that we've had in Canada, where the person who attempts to defend themselves ends up being charged, for discharging a firearm or for negligent discharge of a firearm, or in cases of deaths, possibly even manslaughter. But it's mostly for firearms offenses, and I find that really ridiculous because self-defense is self-defense. But so far we haven't had any real details as to what's transpired here. So until we know more about the incident, all we know really there was two men who approached the guard and started a physical altercation with him. And the end result, of course, was the guard discharged his firearm in what seems to be self-defense, as far as I can tell. But I guess that remains to be seen when we get further details. So back to the article. We're really trying to put the pieces together on how this all played out, Brown said. Brown added that no one is under arrest at this point. Okay, well that's a good thing because, like I say, it sounds like self-defense so far to me anyway. We know where the individual is. He's being cooperative and will take it step by step, he said. Police say no one else in the restaurant was injured. There were 6 to 8 employees and 10 to 12 customers in the area when multiple shots were fired before 3 a.m., Brown said. Well, at 3 a.m., I would say it's safe to say that, and I'm just, assuming at this point, that the two men were probably, no doubt, intoxicated. And when you have a guard show up in uniform carrying a sidearm, and if the men were intoxicated, a lot of people, especially when they're intoxicated, when they see someone in uniform, um, they take that as a sign of resentment of authority, and its authority figure, and usually there's some sort of resentment towards that. The other hypothesis I have is perhaps they were attempting to steal his gun. Um, I'm not sure the types of characters these two individuals were. Um, I'm not saying they were criminals. I'm not saying they had a criminal background. I'm just saying it's just, one possibility that they may have wanted to steal his firearm and, run out the door type thing. So it's really hard to say. As I say, the details remain to be seen when we hear some follow-up information to this. And today's March the 3rd, so I'm kind of wondering what's the holdup as far as the follow-up details regarding this, because this happened on February 28th. And it's March the 3rd, and there's still no word as to the details with this ongoing investigation. It seems like they're kind of either taking their time or being really hush-hush regarding this incident. But anyways, let's get back to this. Brown did not say exactly where the confrontation occurred, but it was in the general area where the customers line up for food, and wouldn't say if other weapons were involved. Well, that's a big significant factor, I would say. If other weapons were involved, that would most definitely give further justification for the guard to defend himself. As naturally he would feel his life was in grave danger, and would be facing either grievous bodily harm or even death if he had not defended himself. So that is a huge factor in the case, which has yet to be revealed. So Brown stressed that the investigation was in the early stages, but said the video shows fairly significant physical confrontation. Yeah, and depending on the the type of confrontation, I mean, if they were ganging up on beating on this guard, he probably most definitely had a very, very real fear for his life, especially if they were trying to grab for his gun. He would be most definitely justified in using lethal force if that was the case. Anyways, and the security guard was involved in this confrontation. Well, we already know that. So, very little information so far regarding this. Basically, it just states that there was a confrontation and the two men were shot. And they're not giving any specific details so far as to whether the two suspects were armed with the weapons or not. Or whether they were trying to attempt to grab for the guard's gun. But contrary to popular belief, much like in the U.S., there are a certain percentage of security officers up in Canada who are qualified to be armed. They do receive special training. In fact, I used to train a couple of set of guards for security agencies here in Winnipeg, and this was way back in the early 80s, and at that time they did have to qualify, and they still do to this day. They still do have to qualify on a police range annually, and they do have to shoot scores well above the 90% range, the same as the police officers. So it's a very strict, and because of our gun control laws up here, it's very strictly regulated. Contrary to some opinions I've heard online, the guards are issued company-issued weapons, they are not allowed to carry their own personal firearms when on duty. They have to carry the company issued firearms when on duty. They have to sign for the weapons. The serial numbers of the weapons are registered with the company, and all the firearms are registered to the company that are issued to the guards. So it's a very strict, very strictly regulated procedure that needs to be followed in each case. So it's not like he had his own gun on his person and was off duty at the time. So that's, I just wanted to clarify some of the misconceptions I've seen online regarding this article, and some of the misconceptions of the public regarding how armed guards conduct themselves in Canada. But anyways, I'll leave it at that for now until we get more information regarding this. We really can't speculate any further until we get the full details of the incident. So, but anyways, so there you have it. We'll wait for more information, and I'll follow up when I get more information on this. Okay. Anyways, have a great day, and we'll catch you later.